Hello and welcome to yet another video with me, Joshua Smith, and today I'm going to be counting down my top 15 favorite albums. This is in no way like a top 15 like all greatest of all time albums or whatever. This is just like the top 15 albums that I personally enjoy. So let's get started. This is also unscripted, so if I sound kind of dumb or whatever, then I apologize. But this is all just coming from my head. So, anyways, starting at number 15, I guess we'll be counting up though. Yeah, number 15 is Cosmic Slop by Funkadelic. It's a great album. It's a bit of a departure from like um, Parliament. I mean, Parliament was more like straight funk, while Funkadelic was more or less like psychedelic soul, I guess you could say. A lot of great songs on here, like well, of course, the title track, Cosmic Slop, but Let's Make It Last. March to Witch's Castle is a really nice song. You Can't Miss What You Can't Measure. No Compute, This Broken Heart. A lot of great stuff on here. I'm a huge fan of psychedelic rock and whatnot, so this album has a very close place in my heart. And now we go into number 14, which is 1999 by Prince. Um, this album is, in my honest opinion, the best Prince album. Um, I mean, a lot of people associate Prince with Purple Rain, which I do have. But this is the first album that used the Revolution. Where Prince played with the Revolution, and this is when he was still mostly playing all the instruments by himself. There are some other people on the personnel, like doing backing vocals and whatnot, but most of the songs, in fact all the songs, Prince is mainly playing all the instruments himself. And this album is really just like one big party, I would say. I mean, 1999, Delirious, Dance Music, Sex, Romance, and whatnot. Those are all great, just party songs that really get you, dancing. And that's, I guess, the whole point. So, anyways, number 13 would be Stadium Arcadium by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And in my honest opinion, this is the best Red Hot Chili Peppers album. I have quite a few of their albums, kind of like more so in the middle of their career, not so much like in the very beginning or currently, but this kind of came in between, and it has a lot of probably their most popular, famous hits like Danny California, Charlie, um, you know, Torture Me, Warlocks. A lot of great. This is a lot of there's a lot of funk in here. I'm a huge fan of funk music, um, so that's probably what gets me liking this album so much because it's not like straight funk, but it definitely has a lot of funk hits. Like Ready Made is a great song. Um, She's Only 18, great funk song. Like I said, Warlocks, um, Charlie, Humpty Bump. A lot of amazing songs in here. It's a double album, so they have you have the the Jupiter side, which is disc one, and the Mars side, which is disc two. So plenty of action and great music packed into this album. Now number 12 would be Bad by Michael Jackson. Um, a lot of people associate Michael Jackson with, Thriller, Bad, which is this, and so on and so forth. Not so much like his later albums, but Bad is definitely one of his best. Um, it has a lot of really great tracks on here, and this is when he started to become more of an edgy kind of character. And it really shows in this album, especially because, of course, you have like Bad, um, The Way You Make Me Feel, um, Speed Demon, Dirty Diana, Smooth Criminal. It has a lot of social commentary in it with songs like Man in the Mirror, which is one of my personal favorite Michael Jackson songs. But I just love the edginess and the difference from Thriller to this in this album, which makes it a really great album. Now we have number 11, which is Imagine by John Lennon. You've all probably heard this or heard of the song Imagine. Um, this is a great album because it's I mean it's I mean, it's typical John Lennon, fare, because you have like a lot of social commentary, political messages, the stuff that John Lennon was trying to get across with like starting a peaceful revolution, and that really shows itself in like, of course, Imagine. I don't want to be a soldier, Mama. I don't want to die. Um, you know, and it you know, and what my favorite song on this album, "How Do You Sleep," it's my favorite because of its rocking nature, but unfortunately, it's kind of like a big shot at my personal favorite Beatle, Paul McCartney. So I mean, there's that, but as a song in general, it's definitely my favorite on this album, and it borrows a lot from stuff like Abbey Road. I think Abbey Road, Sergeant Pepper. You can hear some of the riffs, the riffage in this album. So it's a great album. And of course, Imagine itself is a really great song, very revolutionary. Now I move on to number 10. So we're in the top 10 now, and we are at Dangerous by Michael Jackson. Personally, this is my favorite Michael Jackson album. I like this more than Thriller. I know, crazy, right? I like this more than Bad. I like this more than Off the Wall or any of his other things because I think, in my opinion, this album has a lot of like, not so much hidden gems, but it has a lot of gems in general. A lot of songs that people kind of overlook, which is a lot, which can be said about a lot of Michael Jackson's later work. Like Invincible and his posthumous release, Michael, and like History have a lot of amazing songs, but they're just so overlooked. And but this album right here feels like a storybook, which is what a lot of albums should be. But um, this is also when he was still in his like edgier sense of mind. That kind of continued on throughout like the rest of his career. But this album has some really great hits like Black or White, um, Gone Too Soon, Dangerous, of course, Jam, In the Closet, Remember the Time. So it has a lot of great popular hits, but it also has a lot of more obscure stuff like Can't Let Her Get Away, Who Is It, Given to Me, Will You Be There, She Drives Me Wild. So a lot of great stuff on here, but it's so overlooked, and maybe that's why I like this album so much, is because it has so many great gems that are just so overlooked. Now when we come to number 9, which is Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. You've all probably seen the whole, Spectrum thing before, which is their main insignia, I guess. But this album is is like hugely psychedelic. Um, it's also like a storybook, pretty much. Um, it has a lot of great songs on here. It's a very revolutionary album in terms of like progressive rock during like the '70s and whatnot. And psychedelic rock, showing that it was still very much alive. Um, but as a Pink Floyd was one of the pioneering progressive rock bands, so this is definitely a revolutionary album in of itself. Now we come to number 8, which is Inner Visions by Stevie Wonder. And this is a great album because it also has a lot of Stevie Wonder's more popular hits. It has like Living for the City, Higher Ground, He's Mr. Know It All, and whatnot. Great funk album. If you listen to, if you want an album where Stevie Wonder shows off a lot of his great keyboard work, a lot of his great synthesizer work, definitely check out this album because this album is filled with all of that great keyboard work. Higher Ground has amazing keyboard work. Don't You Worry About a Thing shows off some more of his like just basic piano work, which is really nice and whatnot. Living for the City is a very, very, very great song, which I definitely recommend to you. It's about social commentary and whatnot, and it has a lot of great instrumental work and a lot of great vocal work too. So definitely check out this album. Definitely check out Living for the City if you haven't heard it yet. Now we come to number 7, which is Abbey Road by the Beatles, and I've done a review on this album. You've all probably seen this this cover art like a million times with them going across the zebra crosswalk. But this album, I love its production value. I love everything about it. It doesn't. There are some Beatles albums where it feels like they take up space with, you know, like just not that great songs. Um, but this one doesn't feel like it wastes a single bit of it. People might argue that Octopus's Garden was a bit of a waste of a song, but in my honest opinion, this album doesn't waste a single bit of space with all that it has packed into it. Um, a lot of great Beatles songs, I feel, come together being one of my favorite Beatles songs, and especially the medley at the end. The medley is amazing. I love it. The songs, the subject matter of the songs don't flow well together, as I've said in my, you know, review about it. But you know, in the sense of musicality, it does flow, and that's what I like about it. And just like the revolutionary, like they don't even have to put their name on the front. People know that this is the Beatles. That's how famous and popular they were. Now we come to number 6, which is "What's Going On" by Marvin Gaye. This album is soul perfection. This is literally like the the epitome of you know soul perfection. You talk about like an album that's just straight soul perfection. This is the epitome of what soul music is. Um, Social commentary throughout the entire album, but it flows so well. Like when I first heard this album, I was listening to like "What's Going On," like in the sequence order, "What's Going On" to "What's Happening, Brother" to "Flying High" to "Save the Children." I couldn't even tell that the tracks changed. They just flowed into each other so well. I couldn't believe it. I could not tell like when the song changed unless I looked at the sequencing numbers. Um, that's how well they flow, and it just all comes together into this one, big social commentary album, and I love it. I love all the instrumentation. I love his smooth voice. I love everything about this album. This album is great. I definitely recommend it. I cannot recommend it enough to you. And now we come to number 5, which is "Are You Experienced?" which by the Jimi Hendrix Experience, which I have done a review on already, so check that out too. Um, but of course, like I said before at the beginning, I absolutely love psychedelic rock, and this album does a lot of things first. And talk about how like the Beatles did that first. Well, this album technically did some pretty interesting stuff first, like backwards, like reversing guitars and stuff like that. Especially in like "Are You Experienced," the title track. You can hear it at the beginning and throughout the song. And it has a lot of his more popular and more famous hits like "Purple Haze," "Hey Joe," "Fire," "Third Stone from the Sun." A lot of great songs on here. So if you're looking for like psychedelic perfection, this is definitely one that you want to check out. I mean, Jimi Hendrix is a very talented artist, and his group of the Jimi Hendrix Experience, also very talented, great instrumentation, just a really rocking album. If you want to, just an album to rock out to, this is definitely one that you want to check out. So now we come to number 4, which is the White Album, or well, it's technically called just the Beatles, but people refer to it as the White Album.